You're just there. Life is tough. You're not sure what's going on. I think we tried to visit a few couples. Did we? Yes. Talk to them, meet with our peers who are in the same category, and all these things. What I'm saying is this. Oh yeah, and we did, and also those other activities. Remember once we went to Sagana with guys from church. The point I'm trying to make is be involved. If somebody is volunteering in church, in their local church, go there also. You can join them for that afternoon. Even though you have a horrible singing voice, assuming they've gone to sing, just go, get to know other people. There are always people you can talk to. So, sort of like have some set of objectives, not in a very strict sense, but in a sense that helps you to focus. Now, and so for us it was important to answer all these questions on submission, questions on purpose and vision, questions on children, questions on sexual purity, questions on just academics. So like, even before we got married, she'd already enrolled for a master's. I was doing, had done a postgraduate diploma. And so at the end of the day, the question is, how far do you want to study? Because you realize there is a crop of weird wanapenda masomo sana. So they're willing to do up to PhD. So understand purpose, both work-wise and academic-wise and spiritually. Tuko pamoja. And even as we pondered on all these things, one of the questions that somebody then asks themselves is, we've talked about a lot of do's and don'ts, but one of the ultimate things that we need to demystify is, do these things signify true love? Should what we call true love be present in that relationship? 1 Corinthians, maybe before we talk about 1 Corinthians, the question then is true love. Is it the butterflies you feel when you see each other? Is true love how you miss each other when you are away from one another? You guys have gone on holiday, you both come from different parts of this country. Is it that feeling when you're missing each other? Is true love, gentlemen, the feeling that you have when you have a crush on a certain lady? And you see her and your heart feels, wow, 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 wow. Is that true love? Because as we talk about marriages, as we talk about relationships, one of the most important things that you need to understand, first as an individual, not leave alone the two of you, is what then does love mean in a relationship? 1 Corinthians 4 says, love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant. Neither is it rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable. Neither is it resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. It would be wrong for me not to comment about the worrying things we've seen in this country, whereby people are committing violence against their partners in the name of love. From cutting each other with pangas, with machetes, burning one another, poisoning one another, that has nothing to do with love. Fighting, shouting at each other, hurling insults. As we think about love, and now when we talk about relationship, what kind of love is that? Huh? Uh-huh. So as we talk about eros love in relationships, before we talk about that, we need to understand love from the perspective of God. Because we cannot claim to love people if we do not understand the love that God has given us. And the true nature of God's love is that love is patient. And when love is patient, it endures irritations and grievances repeatedly. Now, I want to say this. It's very nice to be in love with somebody. It's a very good feeling. Now, when you settle down, the feeling is still there and you feel nice. But with time you realize, now we are here together and you need to go through your, what do you call them? Temperaments and personalities. And then you start realizing there are things that irritate you. I'm sure majority of you have siblings at home, sindio? Simejuana na ndugu yako na dada yako for such a long time. Mkikalisha na wiki moja wiki mbili at home, mnakosananga. Does it mean ampendani? It is not about them not loving you, but some just irritate you. Maybe because of personality differences. And so you realize the moment you walked into a marriage relationship, there could be something that irritates you. Something that irritates you to the core, and you're wondering why. For example, what example can I use? Maybe you like doing things in a certain way. This other person likes doing things in the exact opposite way. What do you think that will happen? In the beginning, you'll understand them. And then over time, you'll ask them, when you will want to ufanya maneno. Maybe when you get to the house, don't leave your shoes at the door. Pick them. Take them to that other space. That is where dirty shoes should be. Maybe you are a neat freak. You are the person who you need to make your bed immediately after you wake up. And maybe the person you've gotten married to, as long as by usiku tukienda kulala kitanda imetengenezwa, does it make a difference? No. And at first you will understand, then these things become irritating. And that is where the true measure of love comes out when you're married. You realize that, according to 1 Corinthians, that kindness in love persists even when it hurts. You need to be kind to that other person. That true love celebrates other gifts without jealousy and seeks support and uplift other than compete. Now, generally as students, you're generally broke. Yes, there are people whose pocket money is slightly more. But ukiangalia, sisi wote ni maskini. Now, when you get married, you guys are coming from same level. Now, you want a kazi. So you're either employed or you start a business. So, and especially to the men, you've been faithful to this company, you've been doing your thing, you've been committed, you even get to work at 7 so that you get that promotion. Then your wife goes, she gets her job also. Maybe at first you guys are earning the same amount of money as she's earning kidogo. Then she gets a promotion. You're there, you've been working and you don't get a promotion. what happens to you? Do you celebrate her? Or do you start thinking, hata ni favor alifanyiwa, she wasn't good enough to get the promotion? And then you work even harder as a Jama, you don't even get promoted. She gets promoted again. And then maybe at some point you realize she's even making double more than you. What will you do? Utameza wembe. And I know it may sound far-fetched, but you come to realize that true love needs you to celebrate the other person. So are you able to celebrate other people now? But you think then is when you learn to celebrate them. It's going to be hard. Are we able to celebrate each other's accomplishments? Are we able to support our significant others to grow now and then? True love puts aside personal needs to serve others, and especially during challenging times. And even as students, you once in a while you have a classmate who's going through a tough season. Somebody has lost a parent, a sibling, and life has many complicated issues. Other than just loss, you could lose a job, you could get fired, you could be declared redundant. You as the other person, are you serving the other person? Are you offering the support that is needed? Friends, what am I saying? What I'm saying is, there is a spark that we feel when we are together. Well, that spark is important. That spark is not enough to sustain an intimate relationship. You need to have the source of your love as God, and when you make that choice every day to love this other person, then that will sustain that relationship and that marriage. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. I don't know if I'm making sense. You know, the same way you can have a very annoying sibling. They take advantage of you, they take advantage of your parents, and you can see it. Your parents may not even see it, but unaona wanachezea, he's playing your folks, he's taking advantage of them, but you choose to love them. Because if you don't choose to love them, what happens? Resentment builds up, anger builds up, and it becomes something else. So you need to make a choice. And 1 Corinthians 13 is our guiding theme on what love and such love is. Biblical love endures all things. It commits to face, and biblical love helps us to face life challenges together. It helps us to go through life and its unpredictability. Friends, and I'm not saying this to discourage anyone, but marriage and married life can be very fulfilling, but it can also come with a crazy amount of pressure. It is possible for you to get married and you realize that there is an infertility issue from one of you, and it may not be reversible, and you have the burden to give and to bring forth a child, and you cannot. What happens then? When you know this is it, we can never get our own biological child. What happens when you lose a child? We've had friends who've had what we call stillbirth. At the point of delivery, the baby comes, but the baby is dead. And it is a burden that is not easy. What happens when you have a bigger child and they fall ill and they pass on? What happens when your partner is committed to a lifelong illness? Was that the kind of love that you signed up for? I know this session is supposed to be fun, and we're supposed to have a lot of lovey-dovey talks and all that. But these are also realities of life, my friends. Life as it is, it presents many challenges. And the question then when you get that challenge will be, have you cultivated your love in a way that it will stand up against those challenges, it will face them and fight them off? I want to say that it is impossible to love perfectly in our own strength. We can only love perfectly in the Lord Jesus. And I know Pentecostals, we love misusing scripture. Saying that we cannot love perfectly in our own strength does not mean that you do bad things and say, the strength there amplify or no. But is that as you're making that choice to love, you're also looking up unto the Lord for grace and for wisdom. Praise the name of the Lord. And so, friends, as you think about relationships, courtship, marriage, think about the true test of love. What does it mean? Be honest with yourself. Call for yourself a meeting as an individual. Do you want to spend the rest of your life with this man? Do you want to spend the rest of your life with this woman? Do you foresee your future with them? Do not get married because you are pitying the other person. No. It has nothing to do with pity. It's a very logical decision. You wake up every day and see that other person for the rest of your life. And if God gives you a very long life, you'll see them for the next 50 to 60 years every single day. Is that something that you can do? Do you see that person in such a manner? Are you genuine about this thing? When I asked Cornelia out, one of the things I think she said is that she wanted to go and pray about it. She had prayed about it, I think she was just praying how to get. But I think it's important for you, if you have a ndugu or a dada, and you are seeing their prospects of something long time, spend time in prayer. Talk to people in your circles with a bit of wisdom you just hear. And from there, when you make that decision, pursue it wholeheartedly. Sawa sawa. And by the way, scripture does not give us a way out of marriage. So you're getting into this, and you're getting into this for life. Sawa sawa. I know there are a few exemptions. Let's not talk about them here. I want to believe that we are a body of believers and we are in this because we are loving our other people as the Lord loves us. And finally, how do we handle heartbreaks? Do you guys heartbreak each other, by the way? Huh? So mki heartbreakiana, do you forgive each other? Chairman, umevunja watu roho. Now, before even I say anything, how heartbreaks happen, then see my time is almost up. One, there is the obvious. Nimependa udem, amenipenda, alafu along the way maybe nimeona mtu mwingine, nimempenda na mwambia has been really naenda. That is one form of a heartbreak. It is also possible for you to be heartbroken because I love this woman. I may not have told her. Then I realized when I'm preparing myself to go tell her, Chairman Amanda na yeye. It is also some sort. It is a form of heartbreak. My brother, let me use you as an example. We have never met before, by the way. I think I've only met one person, your stemmer here. It is also a form of heartbreak, where your heart is broken because of something you had hoped for, but it never happened. So, to avoid funny situations, let us be very sure when we are getting into relationships. Heartbreaks are not easy to go by, and they hit you hard. But one of the things I want to say is, cry it out by the way. It's no big deal. That is men. Look for a way and let that be out. So whether utaenda sijui wapi kwa barabara wote malize ishe kutoke ama kucheza bola hapa mtu moja we need your family talking. You know that feeling and then and I need to cry. No, but I shared it. I need to believe. I love that lady since we were uni. And no, since we finished, and I knew this was it. I used to be hard. And wanted to make it worse. Let me give you a backstory. We were having a bit of a fight, and then I tell my friend. Then my friend uses the fight. So I was angry that guy for many years. So Leah kitu kutoka. Now, heartbreaks, I know we are laughing, but they people mess up in one way or the other. So what the things you can do, look for something that affirms you bad. Can make you tell you feeling like I don't have it in life, I'm a hopeless person, hata siwezi kanyanywa, siwezi kachali, maybe not pretty enough. Do things that affirm you bad. Cook, run. You guys go to run the kukimbia asubuhi na jioni mashine zote hapo. Do something that helps you unleash that stress. So do something that will improve your confidence. Number one, usichekelea kuzuri kabisa. Then spend time doing activities that distract your thoughts. Do not focus entirely on the loss. Be honest about the turn of events. If you return like it, be honest. If you are too slow to approach her, be honest. Be honest about the turn of events so that your brain is able to process and you're able to have closure. And heartbreaks can be painful, by the way. There are people who get broken ones and are a single man. And it's just life. And there are people who are like, they go through life without heartbreaks. Especially in relationships. Na kuna mtu ni master amezoea. Akiachwa leo ndio anatokelezea. I don't know how godly that is, but there are people who don't care. Their hearts are very in about. For people who are deep thinkers, it comes, it sits, even deeper. They think about it, they process it, they come up with a result of it, they think about how wonderful they are. Don't get to that level. So it's hard, but be gracious to yourself. By the way, nobody will be gracious to you as you can be gracious to yourself. Last or not last, but recenter yourself. lady turning you down, that guy ditching you for another lady, does not mean that there's a problem with you. And it does not mean that it's God's purpose for you to stay single. No. Just to center yourself around God, seek His will, and understand that humans, as we are imperfect, and because we are perfect, there are things to do that do not glorify the Lord. Praise the name of the Lord. Finally, as we say in the streets, Olga, in the literal sense of those words, do not wallow in